Alright, so I'm going to read you a WebBot report, several WebBot reports ago, the actual date, March 11, 2010. The title of this, Logical Frank and the Wild Colleen. Wild Colleen is who I am talking about today. And after I do this video, or after you see me finish talking about everything I'm going to talk about, I'm going to post the news video of her, which was live at the time. It was Russia Today News, RT. She's on there. Her name is Wild Colleen. Her website is wildcolleen.com. And I said, well, let me go visit her website. This blew me away already, but let me go see what her website's about. And then I see a title of a post she did the other day that is completely relevant to the WebBot also. I said, holy crap. Oh my God. Anyways, let me read this. This is the WebBot report. 3 pages I got here. It's the only important part of this for Wild Colleen, so that's why I'm going to read that. Okay, Logical Frank and the Wild Colleen. Occasionally, the data sets provide interesting forecasts about specific personalities who will be appearing on the world stage in the near future. We have some data sets for a number of years that describe a particular fierce Frenchman who would become the philosophical core of the forecast global populist revolution/evolution. The identifiers for this Frenchman include a rough past, brushes with the legal system/jail, and a distinct association with what can only be described as the lower levels of the populist caste system. In other words, the lower part of society. There are links to Savate and maritime pasts, which brought the Frenchman both his logic and his fighting ability. Unfortunately, this individual was killed for his political position, but the data is now indicating that the long-dead words or thoughts will be energizing a new populist movement. The visibility levels within the global mainstream media, which includes the internet and alternative media, have been rising for years, and there are now specific detail linguistics pointing toward an historical figure as the source for a new human collective approach to rebellion and resistance to the powers that be. A curious new wrinkle to the data sets at the detail levels, as well as in the separate set, have been the rising of a female personality who will become the life voice to this long-dead historic/whatever Frenchman. The female personality is described as being Irish. Write that down, because it's what was on her website. Irish, okay? The female personality is described as being Irish and is forecast to display a wild, passionate character that will captivate the planetary populace as we go forward into open warfare/resistance against the minions and their masters, the powers that be. The data sets include that the wild/passionate Colleen also has a personal history of both repression and incarceration that in some very key ways will be shown to mirror the logical Frenchman's mother's past. The data details are quite specifically referencing a temporal events echo between the forecast Wild Colleen live voice and the female relatives of the historical Frenchman. This seemingly irrelevant detail has a very high level of visibility as well as large levels of support, indicating that for some reason yet unknown, this curious linkage will provide a very human touch response or resonance with the global populace at large. The Wild Colleen personality is due to rise from the center of a crisis. The Wild Colleen personality is due to rise from the center of a crisis. Let me stop there and tell you what the crisis might have been. The massive ICBM missile launch that just took place a couple days ago off the coast of California. Because why? Because that's specifically what she's talking about on the news, and that's why she's on the news being asked questions and having her response. When I heard her response, I said, whoa, this is out there. Nothing I haven't heard before, but I really didn't hold much thought to it, but that's Wild Colleen. What she just said on news, on TV, live news at the time, would absolutely fit the term Wild Colleen, with the beliefs that she's going to explain to you when I play the video after I'm done talking. So let me start over with that section and I'll continue. The Wild Colleen personality is due to rise from the center of a crisis. The data indicates that during the summer crisis of 2010 and stemming from the dollar death equity destruction of late spring and in the midst of unemployment crisis globally, the Wild Colleen will stride from the center of the unemployment riots. You have seen riots in Greece, in France, I think Italy, I don't know if Italy was on there. Ireland now is getting ready to blow, they said, So and this all has to do with unemployment. People, college students who can't get a job, they're pissed off that the government won't let the people retire so that they can get their jobs, right? So this is a massive unemployment problem one way or the other. So, the Wild Colleen will stride from the center of the unemployment riots onto the planetary populace consciousness in a very unexpected or unusual way. And when you watch that video, you're going to see the unexpected, unusual way. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to play it next after I'm done talking. Again, we have numerous associations for this female personality to France and the northern hills of France. These associations are at the detail and tertiary levels, and include both the historic links to the Frenchman's logic, which will form the core of the populist movement, as well as current associations within the life of the Wild Colleen to northern France. Other details provide some weaker level links to middle of the new lands and Indonesia. A monkey mind speculation, in other words, just throwing this out there, as a thought, would provide a description of a riot over unemployment breaking out in the middle of the new blocks/land in a major city in Ireland and engulfing the Indonesian restaurant in which the Wild Colleen sits. Now, from what I understand, Wild Colleen is, from the video, it says she's from California, and she's reporting, or not reporting, but she's, under her name, it says somewhere California. And again, this is just his monkey mind speculating. What if the riot is in her town in California? So anyways, engulfing the Indonesian restaurant in which the Wild Colleen sits, reading the words of the historic, logical, anti-globalist Frenchman. From his very speculative set of circumstances, the activities within the violent riot would present an opportunity for the Wild Colleen to act with passion and determination, which is video captured, and thus the global media stream spew catches the dead Frenchman's words from her passionate speech. We doubt very much that the scenario described here is how it will actually manifest. Instead, this is just provided to connect the linguistic dots into a more cohesive whole and to provide some of the flavors of emotional tone that come from the detail layers in support of this forecast female personality known as Wild Colleen. So it doesn't mean she has to be in Ireland. Doesn't mean she has to be in a restaurant in Ireland that has to do with Indonesia restaurant or something, as he just said. Also note that the female personality of passion connected to the dead Frenchman is a huge temporal marker. The data indicates a whole stream of events that will be occurring at the same time, more or less, as the emergence of the Wild Colleen. Note that these other events are not dependent upon the rise of visibility of the female personality, but are simply temporally linked. Also, please note that with regard specifically to the female personality, forecasts we have had actual emerging circumstances fulfill the forecast with multiple persons. So in the past, our forecasts for a single female personality have, more often than not, actually had the linguistics show up around several women. The woman of scars is an example of such a forecast in which many women rose to visible levels and bringing the linguistics into manifest reality. The thinking here at Half Past Human is that this expression of universe is somehow connected to the nature of femaleness as it is demonstrated in humans. And then it says turning point July. That's it for that. So then I go to her website to see, well, let's see what wildcolleen.com has on their website, which is her website. And this was posted on 9/18/2010. And the title of it made my jaw go, oh my God. Wild Colleen has got her Irish up. Wild Colleen has got her Irish up. Go back and rewind what I just said. Remember that word Irish, Wild Colleen, etc.? Whoa. And then her comment, the brief summary was, I have it on divine authority that there is not going to be a next president in the United States. We will be governed by committees of people, not by a single leader. The power in this nation belongs to the people and their communities. Our centralized government is a sham and disgrace and is being dismantled. Obama blows in the winds of the Bilderberg Group's whims, and they are all self-centered rat bastards who care nothing for human health and well-being. By the way, it doesn't matter if her prediction fails here, and there actually isn't a president in 2012 that gets elected too. Doesn't matter. What matters is that Wild Colleen has come to the stage now in the news. I'm going to play the video after I'm done talking. You're going to see what she has to say. She is absolutely wild when you see what she says. It's a wild assertion on her part of what the missile was, what happened to the missile. It's really kind of absurd when you listen to what she says and you're like, oh, please, here we go with the Pleiadians. Here we go with the UFO stuff. Come on. Doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because it only filled webbot language. And I and you should be only concerned at this point with webbot language. Because if webbot language comes to pass, we're in big freaking trouble. All of us. Excuse me. So, Wild Colleen has now entered the stage. She's Irish. It was attached to her right on the freaking blog from 2 months ago or whatever, September. I mean, come on. This is unbelievable. Wild Colleen has just been fulfilled, and the riot thing that takes place where she's a part of, it may not have even happened yet, and now she's really going to take center stage when the riots occur, and she jumps out and says, hey, listen to me. And everyone kind of stands there and listen to her. And even if she goes on with the whole Pleiadian UFO reptilian guys under control of us thing, and it's absurd, but people stand there and say, you know, man, that kind of fits. Look what's been going on around us, man. What the hell's going on? Why are we out here rioting? Why should we have to do this? We're human beings. You know, and it takes a whole movement off. Even though it's absurd, it starts a movement. That's the point. And this damn webbot nailed this thing. Oh my God. I was always wondering, what the hell ever happened with Wild Colleen? You know, what's up with Wild Colleen? And there was another guy, Uncle something. He was supposed to be basically an alien or something that's been in captivity somewhere in a jail or something, and finally, due to the economy breaking out or whatever happens, they're all freed, and he comes to the light sometime. I can't think of his name, what they called him. Cousin Alexi. And I'm not sure what that hasn't happened yet, but Wild Colleen just got nailed. So this is unbelievable. I'm going to now play the video from Russia Today News, which I got today. I don't know if it was from today or yesterday, but this is unbelievable when you just hear this and connect all these dots. Phenomenal. I'll see you guys later.